Mahishasur took on every shape you can imagine in this battle with the goddess. He attacked the goddess in every possible way. He pulled out huge hills and he threw them at her. She smashed them as easily as a child breaks an egg. He threw the deadliest weapons at her. She brushed them aside as though they were flowers. And all the while, she drank thirstily from her jeweled wine cup and laughed. That clear, terrible laugh that rang out across the endless battlefield so that Mahishasur felt he would go mad just listening to her. 200 years they fought in this manner, till finally the goddess said, "Demon, I am bored of this fight. Say your last prayers, because today is the day that I will kill you. Today, the earth will drink your blood." And then, drinking once more deeply from her jeweled cup till her eyes rolled in her head, she set her lion towards Mahishasur and charged. Mahishasur changed his shapes more swiftly than the mind can imagine, becoming one dreadful creature after another, attacking Durga with weapons, with claws and talons, with beaks, fists, anything, horns and hooves. One time, he even managed to strike her through her chest with a twin-headed arrow. The goddess's eyes turned red in pain and anger, and in return, she threw her trident at the demon's chest, drawing 3 fountains of blood so that he fell down unconscious. But he was up again in a moment, and becoming a buffalo once more, he charged at the goddess, kicking her in the face with his hooves, almost knocking her off her lion. And as she struggled to regain her balance, Mahishasur gored her and kicked her repeatedly till she was bathed in her own blood. As she finally managed to straighten herself, Durga's eyes glittered like cold blue stars. The spinning discus of fire appeared on one of her fingers, flaring like a wheel of the sun. And as she held it up, the demon had to shut his eyes. It was so bright. And she said to him, "Don't shut your eyes. Look, this is your death that I have on my finger." And then she flicked her wrist forward, and the blinding wheel flashed towards Mahishasur, slicing his head clean off. The roar that started in his belly was cut short at his throat. It never made it to his lips. Instead, from his severed neck erupted a blast of blood that covered the endless battlefield in red so that it looked like a field of poppies in the sunshine. The blood gushed out of his body like a mountain stream, bubbling and frothing as it flowed everywhere. His huge body swayed for a moment, his hands still raised to seize the goddess's throat, but they never made it there. Mahishasur fell, and the sound of that fall was such it shook all the planets in the solar system. The sound was such that the giant snakes with the jewels on their heads, who lived deep in the pits of hell, came slithering up to see if time itself was coming to an end. The sound was such that the gods in their hiding places did not know if the galaxies had all been destroyed. And as Mahishasur fell, the goddess jumped off the lion, and placing her delicate little foot on his head, she reached in with 2 fingers through his nose, and grabbing the demon's brains, the source of his power and his intelligence, she pulled out the brains and threw them away, making sure that this evil would never again be resurrected. Mahishasur was dead. His destiny had been fulfilled. He was killed in the way that he had asked to die, at the hands of a woman. And there stood the goddess Durga, with her foot on his neck for all time. Durga, the savior of the world.